Hi guys, Yuli here. So, I don't know, I think things are getting switched up a little bit. This video may be like a mashup of several videos put together because things are coming to me rather rapidly. And so, maybe bear with me. Maybe this could be an opportunity for entertainment, if nothing else. But I wanted to pick out a couple of little key points from the last wisdom share. Is the peace aspect, the peaceful feels, whether that be basically like you just overall feeling peaceful in the moment, fully experiencing the moment, moving past your physical senses into your spiritual senses and really interacting with the environment around you and the moment. But when you're out in your awareness, which is kind of separate from really all the feelings, and you have that peaceful, easy feeling, which there's a song in there, a great one. But that's when you're in a point of what is called radical acceptance, where you are just completely like okay, and actually more than okay with all that you're experiencing, because you see all the beauty and the splendor in the moment, which the actual beautiful moments are the easiest naturally. But to be able to eventually get to the point where you can be in radical acceptance and see the beauty in the chaotic moments also. So this can apply to that. So you start with finding the beauty and fully experiencing, having the experiential wisdom and the gnosis, and being immersed and fully integrated with all that you're experiencing. I know I use that word a lot. I apologize. No, I don't. But so you're just fully immersed in it, and everything is great. This is radical acceptance. And so if you can like just move through that in every one of your moments, to be at that peaceful, easy feeling in each and every one of your moments, fully accepting it as it is. And we can do this in our relationships too, of just accepting the people in our lives fully as they are, you know, not trying to change them, not judging them, understanding they're just mirrors of ourselves and maybe things that we need to look upon ourselves about. But as Ram Dass would say, look at people as if they're trees. You know, we don't necessarily say that's an ugly tree and that one there is beautiful, and you know, oh, this one has spikes on it and so it's painful, or that one has a bunch of moss on it so it's magical. All of the trees are different, and really they all have their own personality. But if you look at people, like Ram Dass teaches, to look at them as people, as trees, you can fully just accept them for who they are and where they are in their journey, knowing that the things that they say, it has nothing, very little, if anything, to do with you, but you can just radically accept. And then you don't necessarily find yourself in a point where you take offense to anything. You just find yourself in a much more peaceful state of being when you can just radically accept. I mean, this does not mean by any means to just roll over and let people just walk all over you. No, you still have your healthy boundaries. That's a whole nother topic. But radically accept the changes that are moving through you, the evolution of your soul, of your person, of your beingness, being fully aware, immersed, and enmeshed in the world but not of the world. This is the beginnings of radical acceptance. And I'm sure that as I move through the week, I'll have more videos to mash up with this one. Okay, so I just unlocked another piece. Today is one of those holidays that, I don't know, maybe it's just here in the United States, but it's a day that is said that it's a holiday, okay? But our soul does not know holidays. Our soul does not put any extra importance on one day to the next, one moment to the next. All it knows is that every single moment is sacred. Every single moment is special. And so the thing is with these quote unquote special days, labeled days, like today's Mother's Day, or maybe there's Father's Day, or there's Valentine's Day, or there's these commercial holidays. And on these commercial holidays, our society says that we are supposed to do certain things on these days. And we're supposed to buy gifts. And we're supposed to say certain greetings and give certain blessings and do all the things. And because society says that we are supposed to do these things, that these are loving things, that these are things that are all coming from the heart, well, it also, there's always the polarity to it, that if you don't do those things, that then you are less than, or it makes you feel some kind of way to where you feel like you're doing something wrong, or that you don't have a good heart, or puts you in a position to feel shame and guilt. And that's not what your soul wants. That's not what the universe wants or spirit wants, because every single day is sacred. And so you treat every single day with the same importance, the same reverence. Every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Valentine's Day. Every day is Christmas. Every day is Thanksgiving. There is no special day to give thanks. There is no special day to honor the mother of your inner child, or the mother of your children, mother of your plants, your whatever. There's no actual special day, because it's every single day. And so with radical acceptance, when you can accept everything for as it is, that, okay, I accept that this is Mother's Day, and that all of the rest of society, at least in the United States, is celebrating this day in the way that they want to celebrate this day. And I'm going to celebrate it in the way that I want to celebrate it, which is the same exact way that I celebrate every single day. Then I can accept that within myself, and I don't have to carry that burden of shame or guilt, because I'm not celebrating it in the same way that everybody else is. But you know what? Everybody else is not celebrating every single day the way that I'm celebrating every single day, and they don't have to feel guilty or shamed about that either. But radical acceptance, just allowing everything to just be as it is, allowing people to celebrate in the way that they want to celebrate, or not celebrate in the way that they don't want to celebrate, believe what they want to believe. Just like with this message, take it as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, well, that's fine. I accept that. I'm good with that. You just leave it for the rest. And you can just be then at peace, because there is no need for us to put that extra suffering. We already have enough guilt and enough shame that we are all working through. We don't need to add the guilt and the shame of not celebrating something, or in the way that society says that we should. And I had a girlfriend even share with me that she had just graduated from a major accomplishment. She just got her master's. And, even with that, so you celebrate a great achievement like getting your master's degree, and people want to go out and have some drinks, and they want to party, and they want to celebrate in that sort of way. But that didn't resonate with her. She didn't want to celebrate in that way. She wanted to celebrate in her own way of going to her home, to her sacred space, her patio, with her plants and the beauty that surrounds her. This is something that she's earned, that she's worked for, and she wanted to be in her own energy and her own peace, and to be able to honor the moment and give reverence to the moment in the beautiful way in which she wanted to. And she also had shared that she kind of felt a little bad for that, because she didn't want to go out and celebrate with everybody else, with, I guess, the rest of the class and the rest of the family members and whatever, that she just wanted to go be on her own. And it's perfectly okay. In fact, it's beautiful that she honored that for herself. And so, yes, that's a very important piece of radical acceptance, because when we can accept things for as they are, meet people on the bridge where they're at, accept them for who they are and where they are in their journey, accept days of the week and how people want to celebrate them in the way, or accomplishments, it's all perfect. All of it, every little bit of it is just perfect. And so when we have that radical acceptance, we just bring that peace in, and we release that little bit more of guilt and shame and suffering. Be gone. And that's what I got for you on this clip. Okay, so we're going to do a little goofy practice. We're going to give ourselves the permission slip to be silly, and we're just going to shake every part of us and affirm that we let go, we release all shame, all guilt, all attachments. We radically accept ourselves for who we are right now in this moment, in our beingness, all of us. We radically accept all others for who they are and who they present themselves to be in each and every moment. We allow all places to be as they are, all moments to be as they are, and we set ourselves free. We allow what wants to flow. Fully let go, release attachment to outcomes, predetermined outcomes. We're just going to let them be as they are, being present in every moment, radically accepting, bringing in the peace of it all. What wants to crash, we allow that to crash too, because we radically accept it. We radically accept it, and we bring in the peace. We see the beauty in it all. It is all perfect. We see everybody perfect in their imperfections, including ourselves. We hug ourselves with such gratitude and unconditional love. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here in this now present moment and for radically accepting me for who and all that I am. I am all that I am, and that's enough. Thank you. And here's another example, okay, about the importance that we as humans place on specific dates. So, probably one of the closest people I've ever had the honor of having a relationship with was a very dear soul sister of mine. And she was in a car accident and died on April 1st, which here in the United States is April Fool's Day. I didn't find out until April 7th. Now the day will always be lodged in my memory, but I released the story behind it all. And so here's how I did that. It happened to be on, so it was March 31st. March 31st and of previous years ago, and I had thought that it was April 1st, and so I was down in the dumps. I was all up in my feels of sorrow and melancholy and reliving the morning again and reliving how I found out about her death and how she died and the whole bit. And I was dragging myself through some serious suffering. I was doing this to myself. And I met with a shaman friend of mine, and he did a whole blessing, and we saw a hawk spirit, and it was just fantastic. And then later that day, I went for a walk, and I guess I was listening to something that said the date. And they said that it was March 31st. And in that moment, I was like, what? It's not even the day. Here all this time, I thought this was the day of mourning. And I was like, poo-poo on your April Fool's stuff. Don't even April Fool's me. This was not a good day in the history of Yuli. And, I was attaching all kinds of suffering to this day. All kinds of story, all kinds of meaning. And then come to find out that it really wasn't even the day, that it was the day before the day. And so then I asked myself, I said, well, shit, pardon my French. So tomorrow is actually the day. Am I going to be poo-poo again tomorrow? Am I going to be a glum chum tomorrow also? I'm like, I don't want that for myself. And in that moment, in that instance, I realized what importance, what significance, what suffering I was putting on that day for myself. And so when we designate these days as priority days, whether they be holidays or death days or celebration of life days, we need to really be careful with that. It's a slippery slope. Because, let us just always assign and see the beauty in them all. Perhaps that is the lesson, is to see the beauty in them all and let them go. Like, I now can, have a laugh on April Fool's Day. Even though I don't celebrate the day as April Fool's Day, it has no significance to me now. None whatsoever. I will probably always remember that that's the day that she transitioned into the heavenly realms, but I know she's always with me. And so there's that as well. Radical acceptance. And now I've brought myself peace. So you see that sometimes things are very unclear. Even a little blurry, but you definitely can't see ocean. Can't see what's down there, further down the beach. And here you can see the ocean, but only a little bit of it, just what's rushing at you. This is really where radical acceptance seriously comes into play. It's these moments of uncertainty, these moments where we could be shrouded in doubt and disbelief, which is usually a trick of the mind. It's the ego trying to protect us, or subconscious programs and limiting beliefs, because the soul knows. The soul knows everything is a-okay and it's peachy and everything's just great. But these times can really rattle our cage, test our mettle, but really we need to take off the metal and just have this radical acceptance that the soul knows everything is a-okay. In this moment, see how the birds still know where they're going? They still fly at top speed because they trust their innate abilities. And if we take this moment for how it truly is, getting past our senses once again, especially that of sight, where it's like, okay, well, I can't see where I'm going. I don't know. That's perfectly fine. That's the mystery. We're here in this present moment. This present moment, we have those cool little birds. The winds are calm. There's a fog that has settled upon the land. And it is very peaceful and very relaxing. If we could just get to that still and quiet place, to detach from the senses, detach from our little selves, and continue walking one step at a time. Trust and faith. And if we could do that also with a little joy and gratitude in our hearts, that helps too. Kind of like the play while you wait mentality. Because, you know, if we don't know, then just to revel in that unknowing, see that it's still beautiful, and as you step one step at a time, things are becoming clearer, more is becoming revealed, acceptance is becoming easier and easier. I mean, yes, you could look at this and say, oh, but this is a very angry sea that I'm coming towards. Okay, well, we don't need to cross the sea. That's fine. We can still appreciate it for the beauty that it is. Now, if you did have to cross that, well then that's, you take that one step at a time too. Do you have to cross it right in this moment? Or can you wait for the seas to subside? See, I was with my proper awareness and I busted my flip-flop and I slipped down a dip there. Which now we can laugh because here's my busted old flip-flop. See, that was unexpected too. So I wasn't expecting to have this live in this moment because this wasn't here before. I've come here every single morning and I had an expectation that everything was going to be the same, even though we had a storm yesterday. But nature has created now this shelf that I had a little whoopsie. But now things are not so serious. Radically accepting. I radically accept I broke my flip-flop. It's fine. I have others. Or another pair of flops will come to me. And I see the beauty in this beautiful, beautiful ocean that is also sharing so much wisdom right now. So I'm going to be present with the ocean. Be well, folks. So, guys, in this radical acceptance moment of this very foggy morning, no sunrise, I have received so much wisdom just by tuning in and being present. Like that step that I fell off of, it now has made a very perfect seat that all I had to do was roll my little yoga mat out, and now I can have like a front row seat of watching this ocean, which is fantastic. I can feel the tingliness of the water droplets from the clouds, because that's what fog is lowered clouds that are kissing the earth. And so now they're kissing my face, which feels really magical. And I also learned some wisdom from the ocean, because the waves are crashing in multiple different directions. Some are crashing this way, some are crashing this way, some are crashing straight on. But all of them are, of course, receding back out to the same place. And so what my guidance system was telling me was that this is like a convergence point on the paths. And there's not a wrong path to take, because they all lead to the same destination. They all have, their uniqueness about them, of course, but it's up for us then to choose. But not right now. This is not the moment to choose, because the path, aka the ocean, in this scenario is still being prepared. The way is still being laid. I noticed also that there are no shells at all on the beach. or debris for that matter, or creatures. The path has just been completely cleared. The beach has been completely cleared and cleaned. It's like the waves were the cleanup crew. They came up, and what I heard then was, this is a clean slate. This is a new beginning. And so therefore, of course, there would be a foggy morning on a new beginning. You could look at it that way. A sunrise would also be like a new dawn, but the new dawn would come when the path is ready. The path is not ready. There are many moving parts, as there are with these waves right now. And another thing that I observed, you can see right there, there are two surfers that have just come in from being out there. At first, I didn't even know there were surfers out there. So until the fog lifted a little bit, that's when I saw them. And they were also right in front of me then, because the ocean had made them, their course had shifted. I also noticed that as I was standing there and I thought that I was moving forward, the waves in the ocean were gently veering me, one could say off course, but I don't really feel as though we were ever really off course, but it's like a course correction where, okay, my little mind says that I'm going to go straight, but the ocean and the universe says, no, I think that you're going to go this way. Here, let's help you along. And I stopped, I turned around, and that's when I looked back at my yoga mat and my broken flip-flops and realized that there had been a course correction, which could also make everything seem different and disorienting. But with the surfers being here in a beach town, a lot of the surfers are what's called watermen. Watermen know the ocean. They know all about the waves. They know when the waves are going to break. They know what kinds of waves they are. They know the direction of the current, where they're going to end up at the end of the surf. And they know the ocean. It is a part of them. And watching them start from point A and then end up way over here, it was not a concern to them at all. I mean, they only know it but so much. I mean, I'm sure that the ocean probably sometimes has taken them to places that they didn't necessarily expect. But they were not so concerned about it. They weren't concerned about where their path was taking them. They were along for the ride. In fact, they were enjoying the ride. They were in their joy and in their bliss. And they were one with the ocean, one with the wave. And that's what it's like to be in flow. To be in that present moment. In their full presence, connecting with the ocean, connecting with their board, in full relationship to all that's going on around them, in the full experience, and their present awareness, having radical acceptance of whether they fell off, whether they smashed and crashed, but they always get back up. And they always get right back up on a wave. A new wave is just going to come that's going to bring them back into shore. Maybe they might have to walk a ways, but look, they're like together. Even though they now have a ways to walk, but that's okay, because we're never alone. And now they have this cool seat to sit on, and they too are enjoying each other's company, their friendship. They're enjoying the ride of life. And that is radical acceptance, even in the unknown. And this is radical acceptance. How I look. Okay, folks, so just to surmise, radical acceptance. I've now moved through an entire week of Wednesday to Wednesday of adding radical acceptance, incorporating radical acceptance in as many moments throughout the week in my awareness as I possibly could, that I was aware of. So I tried to stay first aware in each and every present moment, taking everything as it comes, bite-sized little pieces, and accepting others for who they are and where they are on their journey, accepting myself for who I am and where I am on my journey, and accepting any emotions that come up, accepting holidays that come through that I may want to celebrate in a different way, and honoring the way that I want to celebrate and accepting the way that everybody else wants to celebrate. And same thing as witnessing this also with a friend of mine who moved through a beautiful and wonderful experience of congratulating herself in a way that was she felt was most honoring to herself and her accomplishment. And I've also moved through some very turbulent, unknowing times. The unknown, I found that this practice of radical acceptance greatly helped me to bring about a sense of peace and calm within myself. And because I was aware in the present moment and observant, such as with the ocean, seeing that in turbulent times, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of chaos. But if we just draw upon that present moment awareness and accept it for what it is, we also then can bring about a sense of peace and calm within ourselves, so that the water within our beingness, our emotions, are in a state of stillness and peacefulness and calm. Because like if you use the analogy of the puddle, where the puddle is nice and clean and clear, you drop a pebble in it and it has ripples, you can no longer see to the bottom, or you can also no longer see your reflection in it. But if you wait for the waters to calm and you're accepting and you're patient, then you can be better discerning, make better decisions, you have clarity. And also, this is not to say that you would use radical acceptance to just simply accept everything, meaning that if there are emotions that arise within you, to be able to honor those emotions, but not from a state of chaos. And so you can bring yourself into a sense of peacefulness by accepting the moment, accepting that those emotions have come up for you, because usually those are points directing you to things that maybe you might need to put your attention to. And perhaps things within you that need to be healed. But we're not here to just constantly be looking for things to heal. You know, it's only if the emotion comes up, we see that that has come up, because we now accept that emotion has come up. And maybe in just the acceptance of the emotion, that's the work right there, that you can be at peace with it, that you're no longer emotionally charged by whatever has caused that emotion, as long as you are aware of what has, because you're present in that moment, if that makes a lot of sense. I know that was a lot of round the mulberry bush, but being present in that present moment, in each moment, and radically accepting every moment for what it is and what it has to offer, and the people in it, radically accepting them, radically accepting yourself, you can just allow what is to just be. You don't need to assign any labels to it or any values to it. It just simply is. And from a clear state of mind and a clear state of being, the waters of the emotions can calm and clear, and then you can be discerning and choosing what requires your attention, or what path to take, or which direction to go, what choices to make. So I hope this gives you some clarity and peace of mind in doing this practice and incorporating this practice into each and every moment. It seems very challenging because the moments are so fleeting. But as with anything, the more you practice this and bring your awareness to it, the more of a peaceful state of mind you will be in, and the better able you will be to make decisions in your life and move along your path. And also know then what you need to direct your attention to heal, or what doesn't need your attention. So with that, I will leave you with that practice of radical acceptance. I love you all so very, very much. I'm so grateful for you for being here with me on my journey. If you do like this content, please do remember, there's a little thumb down there. Smash it. Give me a like. Or if you would like to share anything or share some wisdom that you think that you would like to share, please do feel free to leave a comment. I check them regularly and I do reply. And if you would like to hear more about these types of topics, or receive some sounds or some art insights, do subscribe, hit the little bell. But until next week, I love you all so very much. I'm sending you many, many blessings. Gratitude.